Hey, today we are going to discuss about 401k plans. 401k plans. So quite often you would be seeing these kind of things when you search for job for 401k plan, 401k matching. So what do they exactly mean? Let me just take an example. So if you are an employer and if you are hiring an employee, okay, let me just say the salary is like $1 lakh. You ask the employee to contribute certain sum of money like $5,000 or $6,000, and let me just say $6,000. You will say to employee that I will also contribute certain sum of money, and both contributions will we will put in 401k, so that it will grow over a period of time, so that when you retire, so you will be building a big corpus amount. Like it just happens, like the power of investing and compounding happens during this time. So if the employee is like young, it is at his option to decide where the investment should go. Like the investments can go in stock markets, like mutual funds, stocks, debts, bonds, like that. And simply like an employee will go to the his 401k account. He will log in into 401k account, and he can choose like where his investments can go, so that when he retire, like at the age of 59.5 age, so he'll be getting some decent amount, but this amount will be still taxable in his 1040. Okay, the main concept is that if employee donates contributes some amount, the employer also contributes some amount. Together they invest, this grows over a period of time, and when the employee retires, like he will get some decent amount. This is the main concept behind this 401k plans. Okay, now let us see. So this is the 401k. This is an employer. Suppose, let me just say, okay, 1 second. So let me just say, so, so so here let me just say the, oh shit, okay, the salary is like $1 lakh. Okay, employee is contributing $6,000. Okay, the $94,000 is what employee gets, but this is like for the purpose of federal taxes, this is what taxed. But for the purpose of self-employment taxes, the whole $1 lakh is charged. Like employer will withhold self-employment taxes at the rate of 15.3% on the whole $1 lakh. But for the purpose of federal taxes, only $94,000 is considered. That means the $6,000 is tax free to the employee. Okay, now you are clear up to here. The next we move on to employer part. So we just came to know that employee will contribute some percentage of his salary, and employer contributes some percentage as well. So when it comes here, that percentage is restricted. So the employer is like, he will contribute 50% of actual contribution of employee, and that again is restricted to 50% of 6% of salary. So what does this mean? Let me just take an example again. So here, if you see, the employee contribution is $6,000. Okay, the employer contribution is maximum like 50% of employee contribution, so that is restricted to $3,000. Again, the max limit is like 50% of 6% of salary. 6% of salary is 6,000, and 50% is like 3,000. So 3,000, it's like within the limits. So employer contribution is like $3,000, and employee contribution is like $6,000. Together $9,000 is invested in a 401k plan, which grows over a period of time during his employment. And when he retires, the amount which he will be getting, that is taxed. Okay, so we have this different kinds of 401k plans. So let us discuss. So this 401k plan, where if it just simply says 401k plan, so what does it exactly mean? Only the employee is allowed to make contribution. The employer will not make any contribution to this plan. Okay, in case of 401k matching, employee contributes some amount, as well as employer also contributes some amount. that is like 50% of employee contribution, that is subject to again 50% of 6% of the salary that is paid to the employee. So the main advantage is that you are getting some employer contribution as well, that is like a free additional money that you are getting. Okay, and the third one is like 401k non-elective plan. In this plan, like employee is not willing to make any contribution. Hey buddy, I'm not going to make any contribution, I don't want any like investments to be made, I want my full salary in my hand. In that case, employee elects for a non-elective plan, and employer in that case still contributes some amount to the 401k plan. In 401k plan, in the case of non-elective plan, okay, employee is not willing to contribute, but still employer may still contribute certain sum of money to this plan. That is known as 401k non-elective plan. When we move on to 401k profit sharing plan, in this plan employer says that, hey buddy, I'm making some profits, based on some kind of 10% or 15% of profits, I will allocate between the employees and I will contribute that amount to your 401k plans. So let us take an example. Suppose employer says that, hey buddy, the profits which I make, in that 10% I am going to contribute in your 401k plans. Suppose the profits are like 1 lakh, 10% of that is like $10,000. If employer has two employees, let me just say A and B, A's salary is like $20,000, B's salary is like $80,000. So this $10,000 is like a portion between them, $2,000, $8,000. The $2,000 is what like will be contributing to his employees 401k plan, and $8,000 is what contributing to employees B's employees 401k plan. So in case of profit sharing plans, it is especially linked to the employers like profits as a percentage like that. But you know what, the third and fourth scenarios is least likely to be happened in practical use scenarios. The most happening things are like 401k and 401k matching plan, where employee and employer contribution is happening. Okay, so we have discussed 401k plan and four types of 401k plans, and we'll take the limits. Basically these limits keep on changing based upon the inflation, you know, every year they keep on changing. You just don't really have to remember, but you should be aware of the limits. So let us discuss. So when it comes to employee contribution, up to 100% of the salary he can contribute towards it, but again that is restricted to $23,000 max. Okay, plus if he is like minimum greater than 50 years old, like he can contribute additional 7,500. So that makes like $23,750 is what employee can contribute towards this 401k plan. Again I'm repeating, employee can contribute up to 100% of salary. If employee is getting like $1 lakh, it is up to him, like up to $23,000 he can contribute. He can say that, hey buddy, invest my contribution to 401k plan, like up to 23,000 he can contribute. When it comes to employer contribution, that is restricted to 50% of employee contribution. Okay, but again that is restricted to maximum of 50% of 6% of salary. So both can contribute together, the employer and employee contribution together, again that is restricted to $69,000. In case of employee is like more than 50 years, the maximum contribution is like $76,500. So next we have 401k plan and IRA. Generally most people confuse that like both the plans. I am doing IRA also, like what is the benefit of availing 401k plans? The main benefit is that employer also contributes here in 401k plan, but in the case of IRA only employee is contributing. Like he wants to like protect himself at the time of retirement, he wants to have some additional funds, he want to plan for his retirement. So IRA, in case of IRA, employee is contributing, but in IRA the maximum limit in a year that he can contribute is like $7,000 or $8,000. Whereas in the case of 401k plan, that is we have enhanced limits like $23,000. Sorry, yeah, 23, right? Yeah, $23,000. Up to $23,000 he can ask the employer to contribute towards 401k plans, which will be tax deferred. I mean, If he invests in this 401k plan, the returns that will be generating during the period of employment will be tax deferred. I mean, it's like interest will be there, capital gains, dividends. Suppose some kind of investments are made in this plan, there will be every year that interest, dividend, capital gains might be accumulating. That is all tax deferred. That means that only it will be taxable only at the time of retirement. So we have this higher limit in 401k plan, and in the case of IRA, that is restricted to 7k or 8k. That too, employer contribution is not there. So from this, we can assess that 401k plans are quite beneficial for the persons. Okay. Next, we have Roth 401k and Roth IRA. What does this exactly means? So IRA plans and 401k plans we have discussed it till now. When it comes to Roth, the Roth means the term Roth defines that after tax-free amounts you are making towards that contributions. That means from all the federal taxes and all the paying tax amount, the in hand that amount which you are getting, from that you are making donations. Okay, in that case, okay, Roth 401k is like when you are getting distributions at the end of the retirement age, that is not taxable. So the main thing is that when you are contributing, either you will be getting benefit. If you are getting benefit at the time of retirement, it is taxable. So in Roth 401k, what happens is that right now you are not getting any benefit. So that at the time of retirement also, that income is not taxable. That is the only case. So why do people adopt go for Roth 401k means? That means right now they are having like, one second. So at the end of a retirement, that is not taxable, right? So people believe that right now they are in the tax slabs of 22%, 18% or lower tax slabs. But at the time of retirement, they feel like I will be in higher tax slabs, like 32% at the time. At the time, if they get the income, it will be taxed high rates. Like, so they go for this feature where I don't want benefit now, but I don't want to be taxed at higher rates when I retire when I retire. I don't want this income to be taxed at higher rates. Then they go for this Roth 401k or Roth IRA. So that's it. We have discussed everything so far. Bye bye.